We are living in unprecedented times. Not only have we entered the age of Aquarius, but we've entered the age of AI. Humanity is about to undergo the most dramatic transformation ever, and I believe that makes it the perfect time for us to address the global mental health crisis. I believe it is through raising human consciousness that we gift people with the tools they need for emotional and mental mastery. Hi, I'm spiritual teacher and speaker, Shaman Isis, and I'm on a one-woman mission to raise human consciousness by teaching spiritual practices and sharing incredible people's heroes' journeys. Join me on Glow Up with Shaman Isis for inspiration for your hero's journey. If you're ready for transformation, check out Glow Up with Shaman Isis, the collection of books and courses. Hello, 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 you guys, and welcome to Glow Up with Shaman Isis. I am so delighted to have you here. Thank you so much, everyone, for all the subscribers and the support for the show. It's only a couple of months now, and we're growing quickly. I am very excited. And then I know I say that every time, but I'm honestly really jacked for today's episode because I have very special guests. I have two guests, which is only the second time I've done that since I've been doing podcasting, and they are people that I know from the work that I do and they do. Welcome, 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 Shadow Fox and Lee Two Hawks to Global Shaman Isis. I'm delighted to have you here.
Oh, we're excited to be here. And thank you. I think this is just going to be so much fun. We're going to have fun, people. We are.
She tells me when I should respond, she hits me with her elbow.
I I caught that.
Okay.
I was like, they're clearly a couple.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just pinch them.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
thank you very much for that statement.
yeah, not at all. So for those of you who are listeners, who've been with me for a while, you know that I am a fan of X, formerly known as Twitter, and I got to know the fabulous Shadow Fox and Lee Two Hawks on X, where they are well-known personalities in the spiritual community, well-known spiritual thought leaders, helping guide people with their wisdom and experience. And so I'm so excited to have them on the show. We'll be sharing their upcoming, almost here, new book, which I know is going to be a hit with you guys later on in the episode. So can I just start people off really quick by asking you guys, can you share how you got into spiritual work?
Oh my goodness. Well, the easiest way I can say that is from the moment I drew breath. Literally, I had two near-death experiences, and it was like, there you go. I was there, and I just never saw the world the same way as everybody else does. And so it has been a lifelong process to navigate life as everybody lives it and recognizing, seeing, sensing, and working with energy because we live in a world of energy.
Hmm.
It's just what do we know of it and how can we utilize it? And so that has been really my lifelong process of figuring, navigating life. And so I've come across a few things, learned a few things, and I kind of know where some potholes are.
Hmm.
Yeah, Lee Two Hawks.
Oh, well, thank you. Uh, what brought me to where I am now is basically my living experience made me drive or strive towards the why of everything, the essence of life, the essence of love, the essence of all things of form or not formed, the known and the unknown. I desire to know the unknown. And what brought me to that, as I said, is the experiences of my life, much ditto to what she had. We both have had our own psychic experiences and grown from that and have been open to a field of energy called the higher realms, and in that has developed a deep insight. I call myself a theorist and abstractionist. She's much better at the public speaking and all that stuff. But that's what brought me here.
Yeah, and actually, it was when you stepped into that library.
You want me to tell that story?
Well, it kind of brought you here, didn't it?
It's one, it's one
they're
of the
they're
things. It's
they're
one of the.
definitely a couple.
Okay. Definitely a
Yes.
couple. Yeah.
So let's hear about the library. I love
Uh,
libraries.
okay. Well, just to give a little coloring to it, I did not have a great childhood. It was cruel, it was nasty, it was mean, etc. You know, so many people have that, unfortunately. And so I really didn't know about the world. I hated people. I didn't trust people. I didn't care
Mhm.
because there was nothing to care for, but I had a lot to hate, what I thought at that time. Okay. So I went to a library and walked in, and back then had his carols where you could play a record and listen to it, individual carols, dividing each space. And I looked, and there's all this music, and I had never really had the opportunity to listen to
Mhm.
music or radio or TV at that time growing up. So I thought, well, this would be interesting. So I went down, sat down, I happened to pick up, and it happened to be Beethoven in the Third Symphony, Erotica. And I turned that on, and I was stunned. And it made me realize at that time, as I played through all the known people of that age, the great symphonies. So, in that, I came to realize that if there are people that can write this majesty, that can bring forth this beauty of sound, then I am wrong in my thinking.
Mhm.
There is beauty out there. There is love. There is compassion and concern. All
Mhm.
that in an instant flash.
Yep.
And that was one of the keynotes of my alteration.
Mhm.
I like that you touched on that because the frequency and vibration is everything. Energy
Mm-hmm.
is that one consistent across everything,
Yeah.
and music is one of the most powerful things that exists in the human experience and has the ability to change to heal, to change
Yes.
perspectives, to open us up to many different things. I mean, it certainly saved me from losing my mind.
Yeah. And it can calm the savage soul, like hymns.
Yes, yes.
I'm still
Sorry.
savage, but there we are.
Sorry. I have to put it out there.
Uh, so the near death experiences, I and psychic experiences are two things I really would love to touch on with you guys.
Okay.
When I was the summer I turned 13, not only did a shaman move in next door to me and start teaching me about holistic living, but
Ah.
I had a very wild acid experience. It was really, I mean, I was a wild child. I had grown up in an orphanage, and a
Yeah.
lot anybody
Yeah.
who
Yep.
So
knows
did
me.
he.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes you. I mean, I was exploring things that most adults would be afraid to, running all over Memphis in the 1970s, like
Yeah.
how I
Yeah.
didn't die.
Mm.
But that summer is really interesting for me because I've really looked at it as such a pivotal time. I got called to shamanism. I had the acid experience. I got thrown and trampled by a very pregnant horse. And I
Oh,
mean, I
wow.
was amazed I didn't like break it's amazing I didn't break things. I fell off of a building, got out of the back of a car. I had been riding in the back of I forget what this station wagon, and I got out of it. Just something came into my head and said, you need to be in front. And I went and got in front, and it ended up saving my life from the whole back of that. Not even just like 5 minutes later, the whole back of the thing got destroyed.
Oh,
And there
wow.
were repeated experiences like that. And I remember writing it down one day, and I was like, "Boy, the year I turned 13 was really weird." And then I got called to shamanism, and I ran. I shut everything down. I was like, "Absolutely not." I grew up with a nuns. No, thank you. I do not want to be a preacher or a nun. That's what it sounded like to me.
Uh-huh.
And I had psychic experiences the from a very early age. One of my first memories is of being on the floor in Indian style, and I was in Egypt, and and I knew I was remembering even as a toddler. I was
Yeah.
remembering in detail that was actually tripping me out, and I was asking Anyway, the point is that I think that these are. What do you guys think? Do you think that the near death experiences and the psychic experiences are because of the energy that you're embodying in this lifetime, or because you're being called to something, or a mix of both?
If you're ready for transformation, check out Glow Up with Shaman Isis, the collection of books and courses.
I think there's in my own personal space, it's a little bit of everything because with the near death experiences, energy was revealed to me in its greatest compassion of creation. And I mean, it was like I would, you could see the macabre, and it was like I knew every single intricate part of the wheel, what it meant, so on and so forth, in the laws of energy. And so when I woke, I recognized there was a message. This is my purpose for being here, is to share this um, information about energy or about laws. I was like, yeah, this one will. I should have had my, head examined when I was up there, because when you come here into this reality, the three-dimensional reality, things are so much harder. And I do believe that in dream time, um, that we can access many different aspects of dimensionality or multi-dimensionality. So the subconscious, we can gain information from that. We can also gain from our own consciousness, like being aware, like in the day to day, and the super consciousness. So it's just learning to work with dreams and understanding, because I will say this, I'm a very, very big component. There's many, many books out there with symbols for this is what this means and that's what that means. There are general things such as water would be an emotional aspect for you to be aware of. But the thing is, a bouquet of flowers to may mean something so very different in Dreamtime to you, or even to Lee Two Hawks. So you have to figure out what it means to you, and then those pieces of Dreamtime can be evaluated and worked on, because these dreams are the keys for stepping into an awareness in an everyday situation, whether you have something you have to solve at work or you're just trying to get information. Um, Dream time can be very educational in many components. It's just learning to work with it, because the nightmares or night terrors, sometimes those things, they frighten us so much, but there's so much information to glean from them. Those are the ones you remember.
You're inspiring me to write down a workshop called Dream Time as a Tool.
That's we used to teach on this. Yes, we have.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yes.
love that. Lee?
Oh, okay.
Sorry to call you
Sorry.
out. No, 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 no.
No, he was just falling asleep. He was sleeping.
That is
He
in
not, he
that is inaccurate.
he zones out.
Oh, zoning is correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
yeah. Okay. Not going to sleep. Zoning. Anyhow, I have had three near-death experiences, which I don't tell anybody about because
Mhm.
it's none of anybody's business but
There
mine.
you go. Yeah.
And they were informative, they were exact, and I call them the absolutes because what I know
Mhm.
through those absolutes, what was shown to me in the near death, passing on and coming back in. And that cord that connects us to our higher selves was stretched thin because I was very far out there. So in that, it gave me lessons. I did stop dreaming, however, because I have PTSD, and all I was dreaming about, well, the mess of war. So I didn't want
Mm-hmm.
to do that anymore. So I shut my dreams down, which is also a capacity we have.
Mhm.
So only lately have I allowed certain things to come through that I feel like, again, are impressions.
Mhm.
and that's okay. So that's been basically my experience.
Yeah, I don't think we're really taught that dream time. I mean, yeah, you'll hear people talk about, oh, learn how to astral travel, but I don't think we really
Mhm.
talk much about using our dream time as a tool for healing, as a way to manage our CPTSD or PTSD or different things that people struggle with or face. And
Mhm.
that's actually interesting is sort of realign, like making use of that sleep time to
Mhm.
heal
Yes.
yourself, to explore the world, to
Yes.
understand things better. Like I found as I've continued to with my spiritual practices that my visions, prophetic visions, and communication from the universe, from my spirit guides,
Mhm.
have increased, and that's more me learning to discipline myself and be open to it than it ever
Mhm.
was. I'm not a real big fan of the prophetic visions because it makes it sound like you're this, God, when in fact you're
Yeah.
just becoming a vessel for the information that's there.
Yes.
They
You
become
know,
more colorful.
I just like to make a mention. Um, Before the release of this book, Spiritual Logic, I wrote a vignette, and there's three short stories in this vignette, which is available on Amazon. It is a download, or I mean, it's printable. I guess they call them an ebook. Sorry, guys, terminology escapes me sometimes. Um, but in there, I talk about the two near-death experiences that I had. And because of those experiences, I give a story of a dream that I had. I used to call them night terrors. And in this dream, uh, I, I was about, I don't know, 7 or 8 when this happened. And it was literally, I would wake up in cold sweat, screaming, running into my mother's room, because of what I saw, experienced, smelt. I mean, this dream was so vivid, it was like me, but it wasn't me. I found myself in a foreign land with like dragon teeth mountains, and I'm standing on this hillside, and there were bullets like this long and this wide around. Come to find out, that was mortar. And all I knew is they were big, big ass bullets, okay? Oops, sorry. Anyway, um, and I was standing, and this was me in the dream, and I'm standing there, and green snow is falling down because the mortars had it overhead with the canopy of the trees, and I'm watching the precision of how accurate the enemy was, because I it was just I didn't know why I was engaged in really seeing that precision. And my lieutenant was killed. I was trying to help some of the my wounded uh,
Comrades.
comrades, and all of a sudden I wake up and I find myself screaming. I mean, I could smell gunpowder. I could smell the blood in the air, the fear. And I wake up and I'm screaming, and I run into my mother's room, and I'm like, Mom, Mom, something's happened, something's happened. And I knew the energy, the feeling was not of my brother. My brother was there at the same time. And so my mother says, well, if this is an unknown soldier, then we're going to pray for him. And she literally had to rock me. I mean, I was terrified. I mean, this was wartime. I was experiencing everything. And it wasn't until an adult, after I had met Lee Two Hawks, probably about 3 years,
Mm.
4 years after that, um, there was just a experience that had happened. It was like, okay, so I've got to tell him. I had intuition, of feeling that I should make a mention of this dream. Come to find out, the dream was of him. He verified every single piece, from the jagged mountains to the mortar to the green rain, the green snow, everything, even who I was working on in the dream time. So was this dream? Was this breaking reality? Was this, um, I don't know, astral projection? Uh, these were some of the things of the differences of working with energy or stepping into the flow in order to bring about. Now, at this time, did I understand it? Oh, heck no, I did not. It scared the living bejesus out of me. But all as I knew is there was some connection to someone. I had no idea who it was. And so, I mean, you can still read it. I didn't give everything away from that short story. But this is the idea that we live in a field of energy every
Yeah.
single day, whether you're eating, whether you're breathing, you know, whether there's an exchange of a smile. It is energy. Whether you love someone and hug them, that's an exchange of energy. And the more we understand how energy really, really works, the easier our lives become.
Yes, yes. We're really here to learn how to manage our energy, and that was something that took me such a long time to
Yeah.
get. I was
Hmm.
like, "It's that simple, girl. It's
Yep.
that simple."
If
Um,
I may, if I may bring a differential to this, there's a difference, and it's uncommon actually, between what we call astral traveling, where the astral body leaves the physical form while you're sleeping, etc., and goes out and wanders and sees other worlds or other happenings. But the other aspect, and it's all energy, another aspect of energy is where your consciousness
Yeah.
leaves. So that goes beyond. Their consciousness is layered.
Yeah.
Right now, we live in a field of consciousness that only brings us so far. If we elevate ourselves, consciousness is still there, but at a higher level. And it goes on and out throughout the universe until finally you extend yourself to the final point of recognizing one.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I like that you brought that up. I think we only begin to see things when we're ready to, and when we're
Yes.
in we've achieved the work
Yeah.
that is needed to be able to be open to things. So most of my experience with psychic visions have been things that have a lot of it comes in my dreams, sometimes in the daytime. But I, once I had healed a lot of my junk, and I think this is true for most people because I think that's the blockage that prevents us from really expanding. I had an experience last year where I was getting increasingly concerned about Donald Trump, and this is not about politics, to be clear
Hmm.
for people.
Hmm.
And I was going on the rooftop in the Brooklyn building I lived in, and meditating up there, and allowing myself to uh, rest in my the highest consciousness I had achieved. And I kept getting, I could hear a handful of men talking about him, and they were planning something.
Mm.
And then I started seeing a sharpshooter on a rooftop. And 2 days before Pennsylvania, I got a very distinctive vision of that. And
Hmm.
I'm getting chill bumps all over my body. And I understood in that moment that because I had worked to break down a lot of my junk. I was being allowed, if you will, to allowing myself. And I think this isn't about being special. I'm not sharing these stories to say, "Oh, look, I'm special."
Hmm.
It's that this is something that we are
Mm,
all capable of. And I think
yes.
that's one
Yes.
of the things that your book is really
Mm,
talking
mm,
about.
Yes. Oh, oh yes, absolutely. And I think it's just in the book gives it gives a way an access. I mean, how many of us, we go through the trial and the error, right? We try this and okay, we fall flat on that. Whether it be even trusting that intuition, you get that feeling. Maybe it's in you. You get a gut feeling, or you might get pains in the, behind your shoulder blades, or you get the chills, the tingles, like the back of your neck, like, hey, pay attention. Or you might get the chills where it's like, ah, yeah, I'm correct on that. You call them the good chills. Or you get the spidey senses. Um, so I think that it just comes to being that each and every single person has this ability. It's innate within us. Our bodies are, energy, right? And
Hmm.
electromagnetic in resonance. And so we're receptors, we're feelers. And, I
Mm.
call them like those popcorn thoughts. Even when I was a kid, as a child medium, which I was horrendously mocked for. I mean,
I
like,
I
I,
bet you
I mean, I'm
were.
not telling stories out of class here. It's like anybody in childhood. And, it's hard because there was nobody really around to help us navigate it. We really kind of had to figure it out. Maybe some great uncle or aunt somewhere may give us a little bone to chew on. But other than that, we were pretty much left to our own devices. I mean, on an average, generalization. Um, and so we just kind of had to wing it. And just being mocked and being shunned, and because of how somebody believes something to be, but yet here we are, and we're sitting right in front of you, and we are no different than anyone else, and you have the same abilities. It's just if you choose to go within and and just become silent for a minute. I mean, you get images, signs, symbols, even through dream time, I mean, you ever just do dishes? And you're standing there, you kind of zone out and you're like, wow, those got done quick. Or you might be driving down the road and time just vanishes. How'd I get here? I don't remember passing. So, and it's kind of like that. It's like a hypnotic aspect. But during that time, information, whether you call it daydreaming or whatever, that is like information coming, whether it be a creative thing like, oh, I should paint this painting, or I should, market this one way, or, you just get those little bits of inspiration, and
Hmm.
inspiration is in spirit.
Oh, yes, yes, it is. I love that. Yeah, I want to reemphasize that I think we do this. There's a lot of spiritual bypassing in the spiritual community, and there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of commercialization, commodification of the spiritual world,
Yeah.
and by nature of that, it incentivizes us to hierarchy the system, and you see this a lot with gurus, which is just a fancy word for teacher.
Yeah.
And and I get it. I understand people trying to spread their beliefs, and and the world is designed to tell people that when you can make a lot of money off of whatever it is, then you're awesome and extra special. But we're remembering what we're capable of because we've
Yes.
forgotten as a world. We became
Mm-hmm.
so caught up in the lower vibrational energies and
Mm-hmm.
those base things that we've forgotten. And I find it interesting that there's so much fascination with the Egyptian culture, the
Yeah.
Sumerians, and
Yeah.
things like that. And it's like, we're kind of the same thing, and we're supposed to be, frankly, more evolved. So if that doesn't tell you that we're actually kind of going backwards to go forward.
You make a really good point, because I will say it's like in the title of the book, that we have, spiritual logic behind the power of words and beliefs, energy's universal language. And in the book, you can take any belief that you have. It matters not. And how many times do we have like a belief that carries lower self-esteem? That's also a
Hmm.
belief. You may have a political or a religious or a cultural or an educational, even a bias. I mean, come on, doctors go to school and they get 20 minutes of education on nutrition, right? But nutrition is what actually heals the body. And so when you speak to a doctor and you're talking about nutrition, I mean, well, even years ago, but they're like, deaf. They don't hear it. It's like, no, take this pill. So recognize that any belief that we have, we can hold that belief and challenge it up against the energy of laws. It doesn't mean it can give you a valid, like you're way over here onto the right, you're over here onto the left, yes or no, or in the middle. It kind of gives you a gauge, because if that belief system is kind of out of whack, then you're not in the flow with the universe. You're not in the flow with
Mm-hmm.
the energy. For instance, all animals, all, rocks, minerals, king, all of that follow the energy of laws. A fox is not going to behave like a cougar or even a blade of grass. They're only going to behave for that species. And so with us, we get to make different choices. We have a different consciousness. But when our beliefs or what we think about ourselves, all beliefs are learned. We either adopt them or we learn them or they were jammed down our windpipe as children, period.
Yeah.
And so we can take that and literally with checks and balances and see what does the energy of the universe say about it. Are we out of whack? Are we in balance? Can we move forward in a very gracious, compassionate, and loving way and embrace us as humanity in our own evolution, or maybe that's the wrong word, expansion of consciousness. Um, any of those different terminology fits you know, different people for where their journey is. But the
Mm-hmm.
more we understand on law, the easier it is to navigate. When we speak about words, for instance, how many people, there's a couple of words I do not use in my vocabulary. I've given them up. I gave them up for Lent. Why? Because they're not a creative force. And guess what those two words are? They actually sound like swear words. And it's very difficult for me to say these words because it's like a really swear word. Want and need. Think about it.
Oh,
What
oh,
does want and need actually mean? It means lack. But when people are working forward and saying, well, I need a new job. I need to do this. I want a better car. Well, the universe is saying, guess, oh, good. Now you're going to want it and need it because nowhere in there have you asked to receive it. And want and need means lack, so it's not available to you at this time. So if you walk into and you tuning in to the law of abundance, want and need is an oxymoron, kind of voiding the law because they don't recognize it. The law of abundance does not recognize lack. So why would it recognize the word want or need? It's logic. I mean, even in human logic, it doesn't make sense to try to create something from behind the eight ball. And so, what would be a better terminology? With a vast dictionary in any language, is that as creative as we can get? How about, I desire this? Ooh, that's a big one. I am creating this. I am magnetizing this to come into my field of resonance. This is mine. I am complete. I am this, what? CEO. I am the CEO of this company now. And the resume's there, you've done your interview. So it's far different. So in our book, we give a few different things for energy, the words and the vibration. How does want or need sound to you when you actually say it? Does it not sound different? Or you numb to that? There's a frequency, a rhythm, a vibration, a resonance with all words. Why not make an efficient use of the energy around us? And guess what? The speed to which, if you release those words, the speed to which you can manifest is micro fast. Just
yeah.
saying.
No, 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 no. I totally agree with you. I do a lot of live streams, and I get asked a lot of questions like, "Is Johnny gonna ask me to get married? Am I gonna move in with Billy Boy?" And I'm like, "Stop, you stop being a pick me to start with."
Uh-huh.
But start asking yourself, do I want Johnny or Bobby or Billy or
Mm-hmm.
Catherine or whoever it is? And is this a person that's going to help me continue to evolve? Are they going to be an
Mm-hmm.
addition to my life or a direct? Like, you're not asking the right questions. You're
Yeah.
saying,
Mm-hmm.
I need, I want.
Mm-hmm.
And you're also trying to set a destination point for a relationship, which when you do that with situations, people and things, when you say, I need to get there with somebody else's energy, another being.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to manifest a human being. You can manifest outcomes in your own life, but when you start to get
Yes.
involved in trying to manifest the
Yes.
choices of another person, not only are you corrupting the process, but
Yes.
you're putting in a GPS endpoint into life, and then ignoring
Yes.
all the green and red flags, those
Yes.
opportunities to make different decisions along the way, because you've decided where you need to be, and you've assigned somebody a special place in your life without even knowing if you like them, which I think is one of the reasons why so many people end up married to somebody they don't even like. And it's like, did you decide that you were they just available when you were ready to get married? Anyway, that's
Oh,
a
no. Oh, yeah, I hear you. And again, it's a choice. I mean, if, these words work for you and you don't, then carry on your merry way. It's
yeah.
just what we share in a book is information, and it's
Yeah.
up to each individual if it resonates with them and if they
Yes.
choose to go forward. It's just, I just know, even in our personal lives, that for us, manifesting is a byproduct. It's not a
Yeah.
focus. It's a
Yeah.
byproduct.
Yeah, that's what practice I think leads to. Can we see the book, and can you just
Oh,
tell our listeners what the name of the book is?
yes. Well, yeah, I don't know if I can hold it up.
Yeah, you can see it.
Can you see that?
Spiritual logic behind the power of words and beliefs, energies, universal language, artisans of the spirit. See Shadow Fox and Lee Two Hawks. I love that. Congratulations. I'm so excited.
Thank
Can you tell our listeners where they'll be able to get the book and approximately when it will be available?
Okay, the book right now, the physical book is available. You can order it on Amazon. You can order it through any of your favorite bookstores. Ingram Sparks also carries it. So even if you are like a book distributor or have, you can definitely get it that way. But any bookstore you can order it from or Amazon. And the paperback is available. The ebook will be shortly.
Okay.
I'm doing one thing at a time, guys. Sorry. That's
That's
my
okay.
bad, but yeah,
No.
hopefully very shortly the ebook will be available.
Yeah, I think we have to get to a place where we don't assign judgment. It's like, so the paperback's available first. That's a great way to promote the paperback instead of
Yeah,
emphasizing another one. Like, it's just a different choice. There's not neither right nor wrong.
right.
And I'm still guilty. For those of you who are listening, we know we're so hard on ourselves. Perfectionism is usually a trauma response, and we judge ourselves based on what we've had drilled into our heads, makes us a good or bad, or effective or not effective, and it's like so much
Yeah,
garbage.
I
uh
know.
yeah, a lot of the things when I said, I mean, I love being at this place in my life because I look at a lot of the things that I used to really buy into, like celebrity culture used to be a huge part of my world as an entertainment
Hmm.
and fashion publicist, and now I literally cringe when I see anything that's celebrity related, because the vapidness and low vibration of the
Yeah.
entire structure of it, and it's not a
Hmm.
judgment of the people, it's about
Yep.
it's low vibrational.
Yes.
um so
You know,
and
everything is changing within this paradigm shift. It
yeah,
really is.
yeah.
And our awareness in how to conduct business, how to
Mm-hmm.
be, and so many people are using the word being authentic or whatever.
Yeah.
And I will just say that I know this book carries a resonance, and those who have open hearts, those who have open minds, and those who are looking to fill in missing puzzle pieces, so it could be questions they've had since childhood. You may very well find them in there. It is a book for transformation. It is in so many different capacities because within each chapter there's a story or an experience that either Lee Two Hawks or I express, and then we speak about some of the laws of energy that were applied or not applied or totally chucked out the window with that experience and we fell flat on our face. So again, it's a way of sharing part of our life's journey and having you recognize that energy is around us and it's how you're going to portray it and create your own reality. So there may be one or two chapters in there that you may struggle with simply because that may not, the information in there may not be the specific path that you're here to work on at this point in time. But yet, other chapters, you might just validate something that you already know or will give a deeper understanding for that. So it's like one person will have an entirely different experience with this book than what somebody else may have. And that is the magic of this book.
Oh, I'm so happy for you guys. Congratulations on the book. I don't think a lot of people realize just what a labor of love a book is, particularly one that's designed to help people continue
Mm-hmm.
just to discover themselves on their wonderful hero's journey. We are all on the hero's journey.
Yes.
And I think learning that is such a powerful moment for all of us. Thank you, Shadow Fox, and thank you, Lee Two Hawks, for coming on the show and sharing your wisdom with us, your experiences, and your new book. Congratulations again.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I thank you. Thank you
No,
so
not at
much,
all.
Shaman Isis. Thank you.
No, thank you. I get look forward to seeing you on X.
Yes.
To our subscribe. Oh, wait, if you're not subscribed, what is wrong with you? Intelligent listening that is easy on your vibration and it's high vibrational. Like you must subscribe and to support the spreading of the my belief and I think many people in the spiritual community's belief that raising human consciousness is an answer to
Yeah,
the mental health crisis.
it is.
It teaches people how to manage their mental and emotional health and guides them towards living the most beautiful experience that they can. If you are not familiar with my work, please go to shamanisis.com and check out my books. I have 3 there. Proud to
Yes.
say, proud, not a great word, but happy to say, after a lot of work and a lot of failure, that all 3 were bestsellers. And sorry, I feel very
Awesome.
blessed.
Yes, seriously.
Thank you. You can also access the show there and learn about events. I have a speaking uh, tour coming up in the starting in September. You can learn about the speaking engagements that I have around the world now. Anyway, sending you guys love. Be sure and subscribe and support the show and share your comments. And we'll see you guys during the next show. Thanks again, Shadow Fox and Lee Two Hawks, and good luck with the book.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
If you're ready for transformation, check out Glow Up with Shaman Isis, the collection of books and courses.